Hello, my name is Fiona, and I am a certified teacher and a Praxis coach with Study.com. Are you planning to take the Principles of Learning and Teaching grades K-6? This is test 5622. This test covers 4 content areas, and this problem set covers the subtopic content area of assessment. Let's review some of the types of questions you may encounter on the exam. Let's jump right in. Problem number 1. A 3rd grade class is taking a pre-test before they begin a new multiplication and division unit. The pre-test has a mixture of basic number sentences, word problems, and problems asking for students to interpret diagrams of multiplication and division equations. The data from the pre-test shows that students struggle with number sentences and word problems, but demonstrate understanding of math problems with diagrams. How should the teacher use data from the pre-test to guide instruction? Focus on staying on schedule during the unit. That is probably a given, so we can eliminate that. Focus on visual and hands-on learning during the unit. That sounds like a very good plan. Focus on number sentences during the unit. It says the students have problems with number sentences and word problems, so I don't think focusing solely on number sentences is going to solve the problem. And finally, focus on rote memorization during the unit. Now, there is a place for rote memorization, especially with multiplication facts, but that can't be the only focus. So let's eliminate that. So focusing on visual and hands-on learning through the use of manipulatives to teach word problems and number sentences is very effective in the K-6 classroom, particularly at the younger ages. If the students are predisposed to grasping visual concepts more effectively, then working this way can better help them understand these concepts. So the answer is B, focus on visual and hands-on learning during the unit. Problem number 2. A 6th grade teacher is planning a lesson on multiplying improper fractions. The teacher wants to develop a brief quiz to determine how well their students understand this concept, along with the specific steps students take to solve these types of problems. The quiz will ask students to solve several problems while showing their work to demonstrate how they arrived at each answer. Which of the following types of assessment items is most suitable for this purpose? Multiple choice, true or false, matching, or open-ended item. The teacher's intention is to gauge the students' prior knowledge and understand their processes. As such, a test with open-ended questions is the best method, as it requires students to explain and justify their responses by showing their work and their thought processes. With multiple choice, all they have to do is circle an answer, so that doesn't help to show the process. Same with true or false and matching. With an open-ended item, that type of quiz, they have to show their work along with the answer. So open-ended is the correct answer. Problem number 3. Which of the following is a limitation of peer assessment? During peer assessment, students may award each other the same mark regardless of performance. In peer assessment, students may over or under evaluate their own performance. Peer assessment can be time-consuming for students, or students feel unprepared to evaluate themselves while completing a peer assessment. What is peer assessment? This is when students assess or mark each other's work. So with that said, we can eliminate 2 of these answers. In peer assessment, students may over or under evaluate their own performance. That wouldn't happen. And students feel unprepared to evaluate themselves while completing a peer assessment. So that we can get rid of as well. So we're left with 2. So let's look at some of the limitations of peer assessment. Friendships and peer pressure can affect the reliability. Students may collude to give everyone the same grade. Students lack the experience to assess schoolwork. There is a tendency to cheat. And fairness is an issue as popular students are generally marked higher. So let's look at the remaining 2 answers. During peer assessment, students may award each other the same mark regardless of performance. That is definitely one of the limitations. Let's look at the other one. Peer assessment can be time-consuming for students. That is not one of the limitations, so we can eliminate that, and the answer is A. During peer assessment, students may award each other the same mark regardless of performance. Problem number 4. A teacher has been reviewing her class test scores and noticed that one of her students' math scores has been decreasing over the last several weeks. The student's math grades had averaged 85% before this time, but the 3 most recent assessment scores were 67%, 71%, and 65%. This change in scores is not consistent with the rest of the class. Which of the following actions will help the teacher make sense of the student's recent low scores? So the teacher is looking to make sense of the student's scores. How can they do that? Looking at the final test scores for the student on the last 3 tests to identify the lowest score. That's not going to make sense of why the student has these low scores. Additionally, the teacher has already done that, so we can eliminate that as a possible answer. Reviewing aggregate data for the whole class to verify the student is scoring lower than his peers. Again, the teacher has done that. It's not consistent with the rest of the class. Plus, again, that doesn't help solve this individual student's problem. C, sending the test scores to the school counselor for further review. It's up to the math teacher to find out where the student is having problems in math, not the school counselor, so we can eliminate that. Lastly, we have reviewing the specific questions the student has gotten wrong over the last few weeks to determine a pattern of learning. And that, of course, makes the most sense, looking at the questions that they're not understanding and seeing if there's a pattern, identifying that, and then helping the student specifically with the area of weakness. So, theory of that, identify problem areas. To help the student improve, the teacher must identify the problem areas. Once the teacher has an accurate idea of the student's weaknesses, they can focus on the best way to help them. So the answer is D. I hope I was able to clarify this subtopic of assessment so that you now have a better understanding of the types of questions you can expect to find on the exam. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel so that with Study.com's help, you will feel confident and prepared on exam day. Bye for now.